Hey guys, welcome back. We have a video that we need to kind of clarify some things. So the last video, first off, I don't know what happened with it. I don't know why the end got cut off. Also, there's portions of the video that I cut out that ended up in the final thing. It was basically just boring stuff. I was just grabbing the transmission out of the car. Not sure why that happened, but regarding the transmission, some new news has come to light, some new information.
Yeah. So my friend Sam Vick hit me up on Instagram, and he told me, hey, your new transmission is from a Grand Prix, right? Yes, it's not going to work in your car.
Not straight bolt up work.
I asked why. Well, first of all, this is a safety neutral switch, lockout switch.
Well,
so
this is not just this. This is a range sensor. It tells the PCM what gear it's in. This is also where the neutral safety is housed.
Yeah, this is just one of the issues. So this is located inside my transmission. So inside my transmission, it has these plugs that will go from there inside to here. Well, my harness doesn't have that. That's just for one.
So that's not like worst case scenario. We could repin it. Basically, the harness that plugs in here. We can find the lines that are responsible for neutral safety, and then pin it to this, as well as the range sensor. Or we can, I mean, that would just need to be what happens. Or we can look into getting like a wiring harness that already has the provisions for it, and a PCM that goes with it. That'd be even more work. Just repinning the harness would be the easiest, but
easier said than done.
Yeah, easier.
So is everything with working on cars.
And regarding neutral safety, we can even just run a bypass. It just runs a starter. You turn your key on, and then you have like a line that goes to your starter
literally
reel.
has that on his Mustang.
Yeah, because I ran into the same problem with my Mustang with the 680 swap. I could not, for the life of me, get neutral safety wired up at all. So when the video where we first got started, me and Tristan, he was literally up in the engine bay and bypassed the starter, and that's what got it started. And then I had a push start ever since.
And so, biggest issue though that he told me about is that the back of the case, where in a W body, H body, sorry, in H body, the transmission mounts on both sides and then also the back. And I'm not sure if the Grand Prix just don't mount to the back, but the one specifically in my Bonneville, it's reinforced in the back. So we were told. Me and Davis have seen a few pictures, but nothing like.
We can go through our old videos. We've just briefly did.
We're going to have to.
One of our thumbnails we even saw. There's clearly tons of reinforcement right here. A bunch of fins that go straight down. You can see there's a bolt hole right here, right there. Supposedly there's another one right here, and then like I said, all the reinforcements for it. So we're missing one bolt hole minimum from what we can tell, and also all the reinforcement, which we can, I don't know, possibly weld in some aluminum reinforcements. I wouldn't say us, we'd probably hire someone to do that, but we're even missing a bolt hole. I don't think 2 is going to be enough to support it properly without hurting it in some way. So
what he told me, he said, Tristan, your transmission case is going to crack under pressure, under load. It just is going to happen. He had personally done it on his Bonneville with a different H body, which means that it seems like the Bonneville 4T65E is unique to the Bonneville, because even the W bodies, all the W bodies, H bodies, don't have the same transmission, don't have the same support. So where mine mounts in the back, this isn't reinforced like we just showed you. There's even one less bolt hole, which is odd. And so I'm just not sure if they don't use the back at all, or if they just use the 2. It seems like
it's so odd to me that they would have 2 separate cases for their front wheel drive platform. It's just weird as hell. Like, I mean, it's added reinforcement. I mean, maybe the Grand Prix don't need it or whatever.
Maybe they don't even have the back mount.
But it's still reinforcement, and also makes it so that they have to have separate cases.
Yeah, totally confusing. So it sounds like they probably ran this transmission in the Bonneville, the 10th gens, when they were first designing it, and then it was cracking, and they're like, okay, we gotta go back to the drawing board because we're not putting a different transmission in this thing. We gotta put our garbage in this. So that's the hugest hurdle. So what we're thinking of is ways to get around these issues, or just swap all these internals, everything that's in this transmission, over into my Bonneville's transmission. Therefore, we will not have to mess with the bypass at all. Safety switch, don't have to mess with it. Everything will go in, should be identical, but you guys tell me.
Yeah,
can I put Grand Prix upgraded valve bodies from ZZP into my 4T65E and be fine? You let me know. Everything else should be the same.
Yeah, literally all we're concerned with are the upgraded parts in this. So, like, the differential, that'll be fine. The clutches, steels, those are identical.
Fine. Yep.
The valve body is questionable. We don't know. We'd like to use it, obviously. And then we're going to reuse, like, the case, the back plate. And I think from here, that's all we're really going to be reusing from this. But
just this side cover.
Yeah, one of the problems is Tristan's transmission, obviously, it's failing. That's why we're replacing it. So it's going to be dirty in there. We've seen the transmission fluid, and it's, like, not good color. We'd have to clean it very thoroughly. We would also need to literally just inspect it. Like I said, just clean everything. We need to know. Also, we don't know why it's howling. We suspect it's the torque converter. Actually, just the torque converter why it's howling. I mean, he is having some upshift issues, so that leads us to believe there's even more problems inside of it. So we don't know if any bushings or bearings are messed up. And honestly, when it comes to that type of stuff, like any transmission rebuild we've done, we haven't really replaced any bushings or bearings. All we've done is just like the replacement kit with the clutches and whatnot. And even when we did Tristan's, we really didn't do much, and we didn't even tend to go deep into it. It's just all the stuff fell out the back, so that's why we were in there.
Yeah, I didn't think about the bearings. That could be an issue.
So we don't know what kind of excess wear is on there. I mean, I've seen people rebuild transmissions completely and replace all bearings, so we would just need to get some tools like bearing press-in tools, and maybe even a Harbor Freight like hydraulic press and some other stuff, things to remove the bearings, put them in, and maybe even some specialty tools to measure clearances. There's just a lot for sure. I mean, we could even just buy a master rehaul kit, rebuild kit with the bearings and bushings, which just the bearings and bushings by themselves probably aren't too expensive. Just knowing where everything goes and what's in spec and what's not, is kind of a big problem with it. I would like to use this if we could make it work, because a shop built this and we know it should be fine. If we transfer all the clutches and all the other parts, that is totally betting on and relying on us being able to do it properly, which we could get it all back together and then be in the same place as we are now.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what worried me when we did the first bit of work on my transmission, and we didn't mean to dump all the internals out, but we did, and we were able to put it together, and it works. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, we were totally anticipating, like, up until this video, we started brainstorming about it more. Once we found out about it, like, the issues, we were totally fine with the idea of transferring everything over. It's just more work. It's not the end of the world.
We don't want to, but we might have to. Sounds like we'll have to. I want to know if I could maybe take a air pressure from one of the trans cooler lines and blow air through it.
I actually saw online a transmission line cleaner kit. So it's a pressurized cleaner that you put on your trans line, and it pushes all the coolant through. It pushes all the cleaning stuff through and all the old trans fluid through.
We're gonna need that because my trans fluid doesn't look good, so don't want any of that in the new internals. But I'll have to do some research on how to replace the bearings and where they're at. I'm sure Triple Edge can help me. I have diagrams of this transmission, but that's just a little quick update before we get to the actual meat of the video that we're about to film, working on the engine. But we just want to let you guys know, because we left you off on how this transmission was totally going to work and how awesome it was.
Yeah,
well, it is awesome,
I did edit in the video a lot of like paragraphs of text and stuff, but I'm not sure everyone read that, and so this is good.
And
just
it was at the end of the
people.
video too, so it's not like not everyone who watched is going to see it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yep, we just want to let you guys know, of course, in the Jury Rig HQ, problems after problems with lots of different stuff.
Just your cars.
GM just makes the best cars known to man, and they always work first time, always.
Oh, yeah. So.
Yep.
But, I mean, even what I explained in the video just over text, it's not like we're out in money with this whole thing. I mean, like we pointed out, the Quaife LSD, that basically pays for the whole thing by itself. Right there, we have a bunch of upgraded parts that we're going to be transferring over, and we have a bunch of excess parts that we don't need anymore that we can sell. So ultimately, it's not the worst thing ever. It's a lot more work, but it's not like we're, Tristan's out money. All we're out is time and our original plan, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, to not be out money, technically speaking, I'd have to sell this transmission for what I paid for it in shipping, but I'm not too worried about that. But I would have to sell it for a profit technically to cover all the shipping. So not using this transmission would be a huge waste of time.
It was a huge
and effort.
It would be a huge waste of time for sure, because we waited for this thing. Tristan negotiated for a while, and you know, we wanted to make this work too, and we spent all the time to get it here and shipping, and if we can't use it, that's just like a huge L.
Yeah. So I talked about the things that I'm going to be selling. Stage 1 W-body axles, polyurethane mounts for the transmission, new stock torque converter for a 2000 Bonneville.
The 4340
Input shaft, ZZP input shaft.
The aluminum transpan.
That, which is also ZZP. Anything else?
I'm sure there's something. We'll have it on the screen.
I told you guys about it. Don't message on YouTube. Just contact the email. Way easier to get a hold of any of us over YouTube comments, especially when replying.
Or even Instagram.
Or that too. Either one of those works. I'm TristanRicky1 on Instagram. So do whatever you want to do to contact us. Just YouTube comments are not the best way to try and buy something. So just let us know on that. But yeah, we're going to get started on actually dealing with that engine. We got a lot to work today, so hopefully we can get reasonably far.
Just want to remind you guys to like the video, subscribe, helps get the video out for sure. I guess you can keep watching us fuck up all these cars over and over again.
Mm-hmm.